Hey everybody, it's Michael from GetFitOver40.com. I want to show you a new toy. You want to call it that. I kind of call them toys, but they do have purpose, a really good purpose for the channel, because there's video cameras in them. All these drones that I've been flying around, been making videos, quite a few drone videos these days, because I'm kind of learning a new skill. We'll kind of go back a few steps here. I bought the Avata. This is a great little drone here, a fairly small drone, but it is a little bit, it's a little bit larger than some. So it's up in over 250 grams, which means it's regulated, which means you have to, you technically have to take a course to fly it. You have to fly within certain limitations. You can't do certain things around certain areas like airports and whatnot. So there's a whole bunch of regulations, and they just get tighter and tighter over time, because I guess people, they screw up for everyone else. They do stupid things. And so it means that there's got to be more guidelines and rules and regulations, hoops to jump through. So I bought this. It's been a lot of fun, but the regulation side of it is kind of a bummer, because it does limit what I can do with this, where I can fly it, when I can fly it, all that kind of stuff. But I still enjoy it. I still fly it around the property here, and I am enjoying it. I did buy, now quickly, this is an FPV drone, so you put the headset on, you basically fly it like a jet fighter in your goggles. It's like you're flying it manually, right? You're flying it, and in this case, this one has this little pointer jobby. You just point it in the direction you want to go. Super easy to fly, but again, with this, you can only do certain tricks with it. There's not a lot of tricks you can do with it. You can kind of fly it fast, and you can kind of move it up and down and go around things and swoop and all that. But to do like all the crazy stuff, you can't do with this remote. You would have to use a remote kind of like this. And this is a manual control remote. Now with a typical drone, they're auto leveling, and when you move these around, they kind of move this way, that way. But then when you take your hands off the sticks, they just kind of hover there. With an FPV drone in manual ACRO mode, that is not the case. You're constantly making little micro adjustments. Otherwise, the thing will just go whoosh, or crash into the ground or go up into the air. So you are constantly having to manage the stick movements, and it's a skill that takes a lot of time, and it's very frustrating learning. So that's kind of why I bought this little guy. This is the GEPRC TinyGo 4K, and I've been flying it around. It's pretty good. It's got a 4K camera that I use actually in 2.7K mode. Just gets a better frame rate. And I fly it around using this remote. I'm learning how to manually control it and fly it in ACRO mode, and I'm starting to figure it out. It was very, very frustrating. But the neat thing about this guy is it's so tiny and lightweight that you can crash it into all kinds of things, and you just pick it up and just carry on flying without having to destroy it. If I was learning how to fly this in ACRO or manual mode, it would probably, I'd be on my second or third unit by now, or I'd have to have repaired it a whole bunch of times. So that's the downside to having, an expensive, heavier drone to learn ACRO mode on. You can learn in a flight simulator, like an FPV flight simulator, and you should do that for a while. But, you can literally put one of these in the air and just trial and error it and figure it out using this. And this one has a headset as well. Not nearly the same quality as the DJI one. The DJI one is like 1080p. It's HD. It's actually a digital headset. It looks fantastic. It's almost like you're actually flying it, whereas this is like a 480p headset. It's analog. It does have a lot of static and stuff, but you can see where you're going for the most part, and as long as you don't go too far away, you're going to be just fine. So that brings us to the next evolution of my journey. For my birthday, which is in 3 days on April 5th, it's April 2nd or 3rd right now. I think it's the 2nd. So in 3 days, it'll be my birthday. I might be posting this video on my birthday. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I bought myself, it's a GEPRC, it's the CineLog20. So it's somewhere between these two in size. It's bigger than the Tiny 4K, the GEPRC Tiny 4K. It's definitely smaller than the Avata. I'm not even really sure. I mean, it's hard to tell when you watch videos exactly how large something is until you actually get it and hold it in your hands. So, I mean, why am I getting all these things? Well, again, too many regulations. I want to be able to fly just about anywhere I want to. That's limiting. This is good. It's great for learning on, but the camera isn't quite up to the quality. It's pretty good considering the size. But it's non-stabilized, and you have to stabilize in post, and even then it's not quite as good as it could be, but it's pretty good, I mean, for what you get. So, GEPRC, here we go. So it's nicely wrapped up. So to get a size comparison, right? So here's the difference in size. Now, what I do want to say before I get into it is these actually both have the same camera. This has a DJI camera, and it actually links to my headset through the DJI, whatever network or program that they have, or their electronics that they have. You can even link it to a DJI remote. I don't believe it'll link to this one. It has to be a manual remote, and it's called the DJI, I think Controller 2 is the most common one. But I did get mine with using the Express ERS is what it is. I think this guy uses. Express LRS, sorry. It's called Express LRS. So I ordered this one with the Express LRS controller in it. So, or receiver, I'm not sure which it is, but so it will communicate with this manual control. So I don't have to go out and buy a $300 DJI controller, so I can use it with the electronics that are in here. I can use any Express LRS controller and pair it to here, bind it to here, and I should be able to fly and have a great time without spending the extra money. So here's the size difference. Okay, we're going to take it out of the packaging in a second. So it's definitely a lot bigger than the TinyGo, and it's definitely a lot smaller than the Avata, but it's going to be under 250 grams with the batteries. So you put a battery in it, and this is a 650 milliamp hour, but I've got 850s coming. It doesn't really matter what battery I put on it. Even the largest battery, it's still going to be under 250 grams. The camera's all built into it. It's a 4K DJI camera. So if you've seen my footage from the Avata, it's going to be very similar on here. Yeah, it should be almost identical. But I mean, this, again, will allow me to fly just about anywhere without regulations, without having to worry about, you know, where I can fly, when I can fly, all of that stuff. No one's gonna, the drone police are not gonna come looking for me and throw me in jail because I was flying around a little toy drone, right? So what's the world we live in here? It's gotten a little crazy with rules and regulations. It's like, it is what it is, I guess. Oh, we just had a light go off. I'm gonna turn that back on. Need all the lighting I can get in here. All right, so I'm gonna put the headset back down because we're not gonna be pairing anything today. I just wanted to kind of take a look at this and see kind of how it looks. So there it is. Hopefully you can see it in the headset here. Very nice. I mean, it's pretty sweet. It does come with a whole bunch of everything, but it's ready to go. It comes with, I believe, extra guards and things, and extra props and extra straps and screws and all of that stuff. But it is ready to go. It's ready to start binding and pairing and all of that stuff and get going. Really cool. I mean, the size of this thing is just awesome. So you have this camera that you can adjust the rate of it, right? You can adjust the elevation where it's pointed, how high or low. The Avata is actually, you can do that in literally by moving your head if you want in head tracking mode, or you can adjust it as well using just your controllers and things. But this one you would have to manually adjust how high you want it. So if you're flying fast, usually you want this pointed up a bit more. If you're flying slow, you want it pointed more straight out. So when you're doing stuff. Now this is great because this one can be flown indoors, outdoors. It's pretty good just about anywhere. Of course, it's a little lighter, so the wind will affect it a bit more outdoors than a bigger drone. But you can see the cameras are significantly different. But yeah, they've all going to have their place. I'm probably going to get rid of the Avata because I don't think once I get used to flying this around that I'll really need it anymore because the video quality is going to be very similar. The big advantage to the Avata is flight time. This guy will get maybe 5 minutes, whereas this guy gets double that. It's a good 10 minutes of flight time. But the batteries are massive and expensive. You can buy batteries for pretty cheap. They're like 20 bucks each. I think Avata batteries are like $100 each. So, you know, price per minute of flying, this is actually going to be cheaper. So I think in the long run, it will be just fine. So yeah, you're going to see me flying this. I don't know how hard it is to set up because I got to do some setup and I might have to actually do some programming and firmware flashing and all this crazy stuff. But we will get this going. I don't want to fly it right away because I still have some learning to do with the TinyGo. I'm still not quite where I want to be before I take this into the air, but I'm getting there. I think by the end of the week I should be ready to fly this. You know, at least around the house here where it's safe and stuff, or if I do, it does drop out of the air, it's not going to damage it too much. All right, so there'll be more, obviously, videos on this guy. I did just kind of want to just unbox it and take a quick look at it and explain kind of what's going on in my life when it comes to these drones. Again, the end game is to just get some really cool footage, especially when we're doing adventure series stuff, when we're out hiking or whatever, or just doing some, you know, crazy mountain biking or EUCing and stuff. Just, you know, have a drone along with me where I can take some cool, neat shots to share with you guys. All right, that wraps up this kind of preview unboxing of the GEPRC CineLog20, and this is the DJI O3 version with the ELRS receiver and transmitter option. Okay, thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care.